Hello, everybody. My name is AIJ2009. Today, we're going to make a scenario where Austria-Hungary comes back. Now, Austria-Hungary is an empire that existed from 18... I'm not going to say that year to 1914. It's 1867. But no 6-7 jokes in the comments, okay? Good. No 6-7 jokes. It was a multi-ethnic empire, and multi-ethnic empires were like bombs. This is because the Austria-Hungarian had to keep track of the North Slavs, the Bosnians, the Croats, the Serbs, the Romanians, the Ukrainians, and the Poles, while also keeping track on their economy. And they also had to keep track of the Italians. So yeah, multi-ethnic empires were doomed to fail. Put enough pressure on multi-ethnic empires and they explode, like a bomb. But anyway, Austria-Hungary will come back. With Austria going to Hungary and saying, "Hey, Hungary, want to join us to make Austria-Hungary again?" And Hungary's like, "Why?" Austria's like, "I feel like it was the good old days of our power, where we were very strong." And Hungary will be like, "Okay, say no more. I'm gonna join you." This marks the return of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, or Austria-Hungary. Czechoslovakia would see this and would be very afraid. Or wait, the Czechs and Slovaks would be very afraid. So they would form Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia is back. Oh, NATO is gone because Trump declared NATO to be removed because they don't feel like they need it anymore. So anyway, Austria-Hungary would declare war on demands the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia. And Czechoslovakia will say, "No, we are crazy." And Austria-Hungary will declare war on them, starting the Austro-Hungarian Czechoslovak War. The Czechoslovaks will push into Austria in an attempt to take Vienna. Vienna will be sieged, while the Czechoslovaks also launched an attack into Budapest. The Austria-Hungarians will win the Battle of Sankt Pölten and drive the Czechoslovaks out of Austria, and they also win Budapest. Now they're going to push into the Sudetenland. And Prague would be taken, leading to Czechoslovakia's surrender, and in the peace negotiations they would annex them. Next up, they're going to declare war on Slovenia, because they want land. But little do they know that Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia met in Sarajevo to create the Illyrian Treaty Organization out of fear of Austria-Hungary, which would then result in Bosnia and Croatia to get in on the war. The Austro-Hungarians will make some good advances early in the war, even knocking out Slovenia and pushing in. But Croatia will launch a counteroffensive against them. They would also push into Slovenia, liberating parts of their territory. The Austro-Hungarians will launch a massive counteroffensive and encircle Zagreb. And Zagreb gets taken, meaning the Austria-Hungarians now have a coast on the Mediterranean Sea. And this leaves Bosnia to be to fight the treaty organization on their own. But since they're weak, the Austrians will just storm into Bosnia, taking Sarajevo, or Sarajevo. How do you say that? And ending the war. Now they're going to demand Ukraine give up Carpathian Ruthenia, which they would do. Russia-Ukrainians would go at it, because they're already in a war. They're going to now declare war on Serbia and Romania, two very strongest-ish countries in the Balkans. The Austrians would make an offensive into Transylvania and into Vojvodina and Banat. The Austrians would continue to defend against... The Serbs would fight fiercely, but with Belgrade encircled, they would lose and be knocked out of the war. The Romanians would get pushed back to the Black Sea, and Bucharest would fall, meaning Romania would also surrender. And in the peace negotiations, Austria-Hungary would annex these lands into their empire, taking Vojvodina from Serbia and Transylvania from Romania. Now all that's left is to take Galicia-Lodermia from Poland and Ukraine. So the Austrians would declare war on Poland and Ukraine, and they would push into Galicia-Lodermia. Yeah. The Austrians would take Ravine and Lviv, making great offenses in Ukraine. Ukraine is surrendered because they're fighting a war on two fronts, with Russia and Austria. And in the peace negotiations for Austria, they would lose some of their land in Ukraine, which meaning the Austrians can now focus all their might on Poland. And they have taken Warsaw, and Poland would surrender. And in the peace negotiations, Galicia would be given up. Now time for Austria to invade Switzerland, because neutrality offends them for some reason. They would launch an offensive, absorbing Liechtenstein into part of Switzerland. But due to brutal mountainous terrain of Switzerland, the fighting would be brutal. It would basically be like the Finland for Austria-Hungary. You know the Winter War? This is what it reminds me of. The Swiss would push the Austrians out. And the Austrians would sue for peace. And in the peace negotiations, they would gain Liechtenstein and some states. Now time to invade Italy. But Italy is their strongest country they have attacked yet. So this will not be easy. They will invade into Trento and Trieste. But the Italians will make a counteroffensive, pushing the Austrians out of their land. But the Austrians will counter this with an offensive into Venice. Yeah. The Austrians would make a break for Rome. And with Rome captured, the Italians surrender. And in the peace negotiations, the Austrians would create a puppet state of Lombardy Veneto in the north of Italy. And the rest of Italy will remain intact. They have done it. Austria-Hungary is back. The Germans will attempt to stop this by launching an invasion into Austria and Czechoslovakia. Switzerland would also get involved. The invasion would capture Prague and Bohemia, and a lot of Austria. But the Austrians would recruit a lot of men to fight, pushing them back. Switzerland would also get pushed back. And they would encircle Munich. The Austrians would send their mountaineers into Switzerland to fight in the mountains, the Alps. The fall of Munich happens, and with the fall of Bern, Switzerland would surrender. The Austrians would also annex Baden-Württemberg. The Austrians would make an encirclement of Berlin, and Berlin would fall, leading Germany to surrender. And in the peace negotiation, Germany would be split into many different nations, including, but not limited to, Hanover, Brandenburg, Saxony, Swabia, Hesse, the Rhineland, Oldenburg, and Schleswig-Holstein. Brandenburg will independently declare war on Poland, causing Austria to declare war on Poland. To take Silesia. And they will also take Prussia from the Russians, because they bought it. They bought Prussia. Poland would basically be destroyed. Yeah. The Austrians would basically push. And the Poles are like, that's it, we surrender. And in the peace negotiations, the Austrians would get to keep this is Silesia and this part of Poland. They would also make 2 new puppets, including Pomerania and Prussia, as German states. Like, yeah. The Austrians have now created the Holy Roman Empire, because they have multiple puppets. The Austrians would use this to invade the Benelux, pushing from Luxembourg and the Netherlands. I was on the toilet. Sorry. I didn't realize I was on the toilet. Anyway, let's get back to the invasion of Benelux. The Austrians have taken Liège and have taken Antwerp and Brussels. The Austrians have also destroyed the Dutch. The Italians would declare war on the Austrians because they want Lombardy Veneto back. But the Austrians would invade into South Italy and would take it over, taking Naples and establishing a new puppet, the Two Sicilies. Yeah. How many puppets does Austria-Hungary have? Okay, let's count. 1 for Two Sicilies, 2 for Lombardy Veneto, 3 for Swabia, 4 for Hesse, 5 for the Rhineland, 6 for Oldenburg, 7 for Hanover, 8 for Schleswig, 9 for Brandenburg, 10 for Saxony, 11 for Pomerania, and 12 for Prussia. So they have 12 puppets. God dang, Austria. 12 puppets is insane. Like, actually insane. Anyway, the Italians would surrender, and in the peace negotiations, they would lose to Two Sicilies. Okay, guys, that's the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to notifications. I'll see you in the next one, where I think will be Fallout Friday. Bye!